You may or may not have heard that Crackdown is now finally backwards compatible on the Xbox One. Crackdown was one of the last first party games from the 360 generation that were not yet playable on the Xbox One. Crackdown is also now enhanced for the Xbox One X, featuring better colors, more pixels, better performance, and an overall better experience. It is the exact same game as it was over 10 years ago, but even better. I dove back into Crackdown to play it a little, and man, is this game awesome. If you look at the gaming landscape of 2007, Crackdown was a pretty revolutionary title. So what made Crackdown so awesome? Crackdown was definitely a game that changed the landscape. When it came out, everyone was quick to think that it was some cheap Xbox only GTA clone. Leading up to and following the success of GTA 4, everyone wanted to be a GTA clone. Even Saints Row was still trying to find out how to be a GTA clone. While other games were too focused on being gangsters, stealing cars, and robbing stores, Crackdown took a unique approach by letting your character fight crime and become more or less of a superhero. The team at Real Time Worlds brilliantly dropped power up orbs across the map, not only encouraging players to explore the city, but have fun, rewarding players for taking the time to explore the world they created. These orbs could increase your jumping height and speed. Other rare orbs, called mystery orbs, would affect different skills, including shooting, driving, and strength. Crackdown also had a great approach to its story by implementing a non-linear storyline into the game. Players could try to slowly take out gangs one at a time, or go straight for the boss against all odds, usually ending in their demise. Cooperative play made Crackdown a blast to play. Crackdown was one of the first major co-op games of the 360 generation, letting two agents take on the city to fight crime together. There was nothing more satisfying than shooting a barrage of rockets into a drug lord's army with a friend than Crackdown. The city was perfectly designed to be both realistic and your playground. You could see the city slowly come back to life the more you progressed throughout the game. As you got stronger, your character got more muscular. As you increased your driving skills, some cars would transform into bigger and badder machines. Crackdown took never before ever seen concepts in an open world game and delivered a package that was both fun to play and exciting to watch. Well over 10 years later, Crackdown is just as fun to play now as it was back in 2007. Not only does it hold up its age really well, the game looks and runs better thanks to the Xbox One X. Crackdown might be one of the best backwards compatible games to play on the Xbox One right now, and we can't wait to blow up more stuff with friends in it. So, I hope you enjoyed that little scripted intro of Crackdown. I think Crackdown is one of the most fun games I've had of the 360 generation. It's really incredible to see the system kind of go through time. I mean, think about it. This system, the 360, started off with games like Crackdown and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, the first one, and you're ending the generation with games like Destiny and GTA 5 and Halo 4, games of that sort. And it's really cool to see these games, which you can tell that Crackdown is a game built earlier in the generation, and then you finish that generation with games like GTA 5. It's really amazing to see the progression that the system has. But I think it also kind of gives a little bit of appreciation to games like Crackdown. Going all the way back to when Crackdown came out in like 2007, 2008, it was so new and different and cool and fun. The storyline was so relaxed that you really just had ultimate freedom of where you wanted to go. I mean, you could go jump around and never complete the story if you wanted to. You could go collect all the agility orbs. You can go do races. You can do jumping courses. You can go straight for the boss if you think you can take him out. Crackdown really nailed everything to make a game fun without being over intrusive of quests, storylines, cutscenes. Overdeveloped characters, useless side quests, things of that sort. Crackdown kind of all scrapped all of that. And it was one of the first games where you could kind of just lose yourself in the world during this generation. I mean, granted, you would have the same thing happen in Grand Theft Auto games and, Red Dead Redemption, GTA 5, Saints Row, games of that sort. But Crackdown was just something where you just enjoy driving around. It wasn't trying to be a game based on humor like you see in GTA games or Saints Row games, and it wasn't trying to be over the top like you see in Saints Row. It wasn't trying to be overly serious like you see in Red Dead. It was just trying to be a game where you're to have fun, and I think it really nailed that. So that's why I kind of wanted to make a piece of why Crackdown is so awesome. If you didn't have a chance to experience yet, I really hope that you do. People like to bash on Crackdown for its kind of wonky controls and really crappy camera angles at times, and the hard issue to target enemies at times, and sometimes it's incredibly difficult if your character's not a high enough level and you take on someone too high of a level for a drug lord or something. But despite all of its flaws, it's a great game. It's fantastic to play. The DLC I think makes it even better, where you can kind of use pretty much cheat codes in the game if you want to have even more fun. It adds more vehicles, more characters, more weapons, things of that sort. It's definitely worth I think it's like $12 on the Xbox store right now. It's definitely worth the $12. If you can't find a disc, I'm sure the disc prices are cheaper than that. It's definitely a game that I would recommend you play if you're even remotely interested in Crackdown 3, because from what I've seen of Crackdown 3, it's not overly different for better or for worse than what we've seen in the first two Crackdown games. I would argue that you could skip Crackdown 2. It's not that it's a horrible game, but it's more or less more of the same, just with zombies. It even takes place in the same city. So I think going back to playing the first Crackdown is probably your best bet. Invite a buddy to play it with you. I think it's much more fun to play with a friend. And the announcer says some funny things, like if you kill your teammate, which are all agents in the game, he'll say something like, "That was an agent," or you kill a police officer or something, and which the video just got demonetized for me saying that, of course. But you take out a peacekeeper, and the announcer will say something like, "That agent had a wife and kids. Do you want to be the one to break the bad news?" Things like that sort just kind of broke the humor in the game and just made it a blast to play. It had a lot of small things that added up to being a lot of fun. So definitely go out and try Crackdown. It's a blast. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to be uploading a complete walkthrough with Ed, who's also on Team Respawn, eventually. It's just a matter of us sitting down and knocking it out, because the game takes, if you really spend your time to enjoy it, it can take a while, which is a really good thing. And it has a lot of replayability, even if you, quote, beat the game. So hopefully you enjoy. Crackdown 3 is around the corner, and we'll be covering Crackdown 3, and hopefully you can dive into Crackdown 1, and maybe, if we're lucky, Microsoft will release, or I don't know what you call it, allow Crackdown 2 to become backwards compatible on the Xbox One, so you can also dive into Crackdown 2 if you're curious on that game, so we can get ready for the third game. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Andrew from Team Respawn, and I'll see you next time.